Hey, guys, tricked you, didn't we? The break screen was totally up. All you people catching up on AudioCast definitely didn't miss 10 minutes of me not realizing that I was broadcasting me just sitting there. So that'll be fun to edit out later for the goofs. But today is July 16th, 2019, and you are loved. And I feel like that is a very important thing to remember for everybody, not just our viewers. We stream this Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here at twitch.tv/indooradventures. And if this is your first time joining us, you can also find us on youtube.com/indooradventures or anywhere where you can find audio casts, also at Indoor Adventures. On the 27th, we are going to be having a mental health charity stream, which I am calling the Guild Home Gathering, mostly because we should turn your guild house into a guild home, because I want everybody to be able to feel comfortable and feel good about themselves. Even if they don't directly support the show, that doesn't mean that we can't support them. Other things to note is that we have a merch store. So if you go to bit.ly/adventure merch, you can possibly pick yourself up something nice. We got the Moon Maidens t-shirts, we got posters, we got the Stompfoot and Goreblast Gymnasium t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, everything that you could possibly need. We also have mugs. I don't have one near me because I have a Cyberwolf mug, which is a slight plug for our dear friend Cyber. But I think that is it for my merch spiel. So again, if you are interested in checking this out, consider checking us out at Indoor Adventures. And from now until the 27th, for every new follower that we get on the channel, I am going to be making a donation to the Tiny Changes organization in your name. So thank you to the 3 people who have already followed. Hopefully we get some more by the time that this is done. But that is it for me. So, RJ, who are you playing tonight?
Hello, I am RJ here on the channel, and tonight I'll be playing Bartholomew, the human ranger.
Hi, I'm LB, and I will be playing Silme, the half-elf. I almost said barbarian. She's a wizard.
I'm the Indoor Adventurer, and I shall be playing the Barbarian, known as Kefris Malrezka, a mongrel folk who is having currently none of it in Barovia.
I am Danae Keener, and I am your very spooky dungeon master. As always, let's get started with the recap. Last time, Speedy, the Malrezkas, Irina, and Rosalia Martikov all descended into the tunnels beneath the fields of the Wizard of Wines to find and dispose of the source of the army of blights plaguing the vineyard. After a cave-in separated the group, Rosalia was revealed to Speedy as a wereraven. Irina asked Silme for help with divine spellcasting, and everyone was subjected to nightmarish visions due to the effects of a fungus lining the tunnels called gutweep. After a time, the group was reunited and managed not only to destroy the staff causing the infestation of blights, but managed to rescue Rosalia's nephew, who had been captured by the druids responsible for the whole mess. However, the 3 magic stones that kept the vineyard fruitful in the cursed land were nowhere to be found. So, when all of you return to the Martikov family, you are offered a place to stay for the night in the house. There's a few things that I figured we were going to take care of with the Martikovs before y'all headed off with the shipment of wine that you came for. One of those things was that somebody wanted to talk to the Martikovs about lycanthropy. Silme? Okay. Irina wanted to try and figure out if she could unpoison the batch of wine that got spoiled by the druids.
Yes.
I think that was it.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Did I say 3 things? I meant 2.
You said 4 things, actually.
I said 4 things? Don't
Divide that.
toy with me.
I mean, my thing could be multiple things. There's a lot of books.
Look at this stuff.
If I saw Irina trying to do divine magic, I would definitely talk to her about it, see what's up.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Do you guys accept the Martikov's invitation to stay for the night?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it'd be very rude to turn down such a wonderful.
You're each given a guest room then. Show tier rooms and such. They're all on the bottom floor of the winery. Rosalia goes off to explore the tunnels with a few of the more able-bodied members of her family.
Thank you very much for your help.
Thank you.
We say as she walks away.
I don't feel comfortable playing her in JD's absence, so she waves.
That's fine.
Is it one of the, like, cool hand behind the back waves as they march off with family kind of thing?
Yeah, like in slow motion.
Oh, yeah.
There's wind in the tunnels for some reason.
She's so cool.
Blowing back her scarf and her raven black hair. Anyway, so a man named Adrian, he introduces himself as Adrian. He is the eldest sibling in the Martikov family, is the one that's showing you all around. And he's got his arm in a sling. It seems that he got injured during the attacks. Who is interested in talking about lycanthropy with him?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
I'm going to go and patrol the grounds for any blights that are left over.
Well, didn't they all die when we did the thing?
Bart shrugs.
I mean, we sure hope they did. Could be that they didn't.
Right. Okay, well, we will study up, and you boys go do what you boys do.
Crossbow on the shoulder, walks outside.
All right. Kefris, you can see Irina just like pace over into the Vats room, and you probably follow her in there.
Yeah.
Because she's like pulling on her Ilmater cords and muttering under her breath. Let's start off with Silme and Adrian. You do understand that this is very unusual. We don't normally let people know about, the whole thing. And he kind of just pulls a feather out of his jacket and throws it on the ground.
Oh, no, I completely understand your desire for keeping things under wraps. I promise that it is purely a scientific endeavor. I am not, going to poke and prod at you. If I can assist in helping in some way, I wish to. I know your family has, you've become very accustomed to, and you are very in tuned with this curse, as some people call it. But there are others, such as some of the werewolves that are out in the woods roaming about, who have no control over themselves, that might need help. And I think that I can assist them if I know more.
I guess we'll see about that. Understand I can't tell you everything.
Right.
There's, certain things that I'm not really allowed to talk about. The old bird will get after me. But what do you want to know?
Oh, well, actually, do you know, I guess scientifically, how it forms about? In your family, it is passed down from generation to generation. Is that correct?
Yeah, for the most part. But the people who marry in have to be turned.
And how does that happen exactly? Like, I understand there is a scratching process or a biting process where something is transferred, but what is it that is transferred? Is it a mucus, blood?
He kind of looks at you out of the side of his eye, and as he does so, his face begins to elongate, and he turns into his hybrid form, and he just kind of taps on his beak.
Oh, is it just, do you have to break skin when this happens?
Yes. For every lycanthrope, it's always the bite.
The bite. All right. And she's taking notes.
Yep, he'll slowly revert.
And is it? Let's just say you as a bird, as a crow lycanthrope. You
please, Raven.
Raven. I'm sorry. Terribly sorry. You have no saliva. Is that correct? Or because I'm curious as to how it transfers specifically, because I understand that, like, in a werewolf, they have...
Hold on, Wings genuinely doesn't know this. Isn't this a bird fact? Do they not have saliva?
Not in the way that, like, a mammal has saliva. Haven't you ever felt a bird tongue?
Bird facts!
No!
Bird facts.
Bird facts.
Right, babe? Birds don't have saliva?
Well, you
It's like a
see,
general thing.
regardless of whether or not birds have saliva, this is been a long contested theory among scholars. But it could not ever be tested. But regardless of that, we do have oils in our feathers and therefore on our beaks.
Right, okay.
And it can be transferred through that.
Through oils. All right, so when one is turned, what happens when on the first shifting or turning from being human or human-like to being this hybrid or this raven form?
Well, you see, when we do it, we usually try to do it on a night of a full moon so that they can turn right away, and we get have in a controlled environment.
Right.
We can't always do that, but it's usually pretty intense. Usually people don't remember it.
Right. And what does the full moon have to do with lycanthropy? I mean, what specifically about the moon phases? Because you can turn at will.
Well, yeah, we can turn it well, sure. But we've embraced our curse.
Oh, right,
Curse.
Embracing the curse.
It's a blessing. Really.
Right. No, I understand. This is the clinical terming. I'm not saying that I agree with it. So when one embraces this ability, this part of you, it's easier for you to control it. Whereas if someone, say, who is a werewolf who rejects this notion in their mind, they become the creature as opposed to keeping their own mind. Am I following correctly?
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Right.
You know, when there's turmoil inside you, you can't. You become of two minds. You know. You kind of have to. You have to allow yourself to change and become a different person in order to have control of that thing that you become.
So
at least that's how I've always understood it. I never had to deal with that, really. I've always just been me.
Right. I'm wondering if I've come across a spell that can allow me to remove what would be clinically termed a curse. And I'm wondering if I can use this spell to remove the curse of lycanthropy from someone who would like it removed, obviously. I know that there would be something required for the spell, such as, I'm trying to figure out what that final piece would be. With what I've learned, I'm thinking it might be some sort of the saliva or maybe a tooth or something from the creature that had turned the person into the lycanthrope. Does that sound plausible to you?
You're very close, actually.
Oh!
Very close indeed. First of all, you need to know that those of us who were born this way, like there's no going back.
Right.
Like that's just the way we are. Okay. But if you were turned, as some members of our family who are no longer members of our family have learned, you need the blood of the one that turned you.
Oh, the blood. And when removing the blood, is it something that has to be ritualistic as opposed to I punch them, I get some of their blood on me, and then I use that?
Listen, the blood is just a component. The
Right.
ritual is all later.
Right. Blood of is it of the one that bit you in general, or in blood of a lycanthrope of that?
The
strength?
one that turned you,
One?
very specifically.
Right.
Also, you're gonna want to do the ritual on the night of a new moon.
Oh, all right. So you are aware of this, and you know how to have you. Is someone in your family is able to do it?
Yeah, the old bird.
Oh, is this a grandmother or
Dad.
dad?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gendered that, and I shouldn't have. Blood of the one that told you on a new moon. Would I be able to speak with your father to perhaps get more in-depth idea of how this works?
Yeah, I guess, if you want to.
Of course, yeah. No, I'd love to know as much as I can before I prepare any spell.
Okay.
Is there anything I should know about your dad?
It's very old-fashioned.
In what ways?
He's old
Right.
and honestly kind of a dick.
That's all right. You've never met my mother. Sorry, family joke. Yes, no, if there is if he has a moment, I would love to speak with him about it.
All right, I'll go see if I can find him.
Thank you so much.
All right, he's going to wander off and try to find his dad, who is probably honestly wandering the grounds, checking to see all of the blights are dead. But for now, let's cut to Kefris and Irina.
Sounds good. And I got a heads up from our guest. They are ready to join in whenever you are.
Cool.
Yes.
Are you good?
Yeah, I can.
We'll need like a minute.
Yeah,
but...
I'll probably need a little bit of a minute.
All right, I'll see if I can time the break right, but
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see.
Sounds good.
All right. So, Kefris, you had seen Irina walk by, kind of tightening her cords, and now she's kind of standing in the middle of the vat room, just like rubbing her chin, and muttering to herself and getting out a little parchment and kind of staring at it and then muttering to herself again.
How have you found the cords working for you, Irina? Are you okay after the whole bloody tear thing? It wasn't good. If you tasted it, it tasted poorly.
You tasted it?
I didn't know what it was.
Do you realize how dangerous that was? Why would you do something like that?
Look, I didn't know. I was alone, and
it came out of your face. Disgusting.
Okay, look. Maybe we shouldn't point fingers. If it helps, you were all seeing really terrible things, apparently, and I think the worst that I got was honestly mistaking something that Maybelle could do. So I feel like I kind of came out on top on that one. While she was a bird, she had a person face and was talking to me, and I just honestly thought that was something that she could do, because she's kind of, well, different.
That's trippy.
Oh, yes. But we had a good talk, and we've sorted some things out, so it's good.
Okay. Well, yes, the cords are doing nicely. I mean, well, at least for my own focus, I haven't tried using them.
Honestly, I've never tried using them either. For things like I wasn't that kind of person at the temple. So
how do you know for sure?
Well, in my situation, you go to a lot of classes and you find out rather a hard way. And at the end of the day, you realize, oh, other people in this class are capable of doing this thing, but not myself. Don't worry, I'll give it another go, maybe next year. But there are situations where someone will come in and display the abilities without much prompting. And in situations like that, congrats would be in order, I would suppose.
Well, I guess I will not know unless I just give it a try.
From what I was told, deep breaths, focus on the thing that you want to do more than anything in the moment, and believe it with your heart. And if you don't feel in the moment like you are capable of believing in your own abilities, you can always either believe in me or believe in Ilmater.
Okay. She is gonna walk over to the vat and kind of roll a barrel underneath the nozzle and start emptying it in. You can only do so much at once, so you don't want to purify a corner of it and then it immediately just diffuses back into the poison again.
You already seem to know more about this than I do.
I've been thinking a lot about it. And she'll pull those cords tight again, and she's going to put her hands in kind of like a holy sigil in front of the barrel, and I need you to roll a persuasion check to see how well you encourage her.
Oh, dipsticks. Okay. Oomph. Persuasion, you say? That is a solid 8.
And as she's just raising her hands, they start trembling, and she's like, I don't think I can do this.
Hey, whoa, no. Remember, deep breaths. Here. Take my hand, and I'll offer the arm that has the cords on it, and I'll extend my hands out too. And I'll say, normally, from my understanding of how regular magics work, it takes multiple people working together towards a cause if they want to do something big, if they want to do something extraordinary. Well, we're not very good at this, so this tiny thing is going to be our big and extraordinary thing. All right?
All right. Let's try it again. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check at advantage.
That is a natural 20.
Damn. And she sort of, which arm
I had mine on the right, she had hers on the
right.
left.
All right. So she'll stand to your left, so that the two of you just kind of have your hands over the barrel, with the ilmatory cords on the outside. And she'll reach over and just kind of like grab your hand, and she will do that sigil again. And she sits there for a second. She concentrates really, really hard, and just like at the moment where you can feel her starting to get frustrated, she sighs, and then there is she sighs in an irritated fashion, and just as she's about to turn to you and say, I don't think this is going to, there is a golden light that just blasts out of her hand and into the wine, and there's concentric rings that just sort of grow out from the center of the barrel, and there is a very fresh smell of wine that comes up and just wafts over the two of you.
See?
Holy shit.
For the first time in the last, 4 days we've been in Barovia, Kefris will actually start to laugh a little bit.
Yeah, she'll kind of laugh back in a nervous fashion.
See? At the point you thought you were suffering the most, that nothing was going to happen, that's exactly when things happened.
I still don't get that. But I feel like we've learned something here.
What's that?
People are stronger together.
And he just kind of smiles and nods.
All right.
I will
Meanwhile,
be definitely helping her. Just more barrels. We did it, folks. Solved the wine.
let's see.
LB's giving me a really...
Since she's a baby spellcaster, she only has 2 spell slots.
That's
so
okay.
she can do that twice.
That's fine.
Unless that's a ritual. Is that a ritual? It's a ritual! Okay, so she can continue to do that for...
Rituals can just keep going.
Yeah, for sure. All right. That's Irina's job for the rest of the day.
I'm definitely helping, because I am strong enough to move barrels and things.
Cool. Awesome. That's what you two are doing. Meanwhile, out in the fields, Bartholomew. Give me a survival check.
Oh boy. That is 20 and 2.
20 and 2?
22.
Oh, 22. I'm like, what kind of check are you doing? No, all right. All right, so you are just sort of checking out the perimeters of the fields. What you notice is that the blights seem to have some sort of programming that they had a patrol. And you will find like just deep rivets where several blights had just like walked in an erratic circle on a patrol, and then like you'll like circle around and then find a blight that has just like fallen over from where it was. Are you doing anything with the bodies, or are you just checking to make sure none of them are alive?
If they're within like a proximity of something, he's also like dragging them into a pile, chucking them on there, and when there's enough, just lights a match.
Yep. I imagine that there are other members of the Martikov family who are doing something similar. And at some point you will, like, there are tons of ravens surrounding the Wizard of Wine's vineyard, but at some point you will see a kind of a mangy looking raven that's a little bit bigger than the rest of them, and it's got like a manky eye, just like one's milk white, and he's just like kind of nibbles on his shoulder a little bit, and you see some feathers fall, and he goes, "So what are you on about?"
There's a quick whip, and the crossbow goes up, and then like slowly lowers.
Rude.
You know, it's not often that I encounter talking animals.
Also rude. And he flitters down, and he lands on the ground with kind of a hobble, and you can see he's lifting one of his little raven feet, and it's kind of clawed up as though it's been disfigured, and he will swell into the size of a man who's just kind of hunched over. His clothes are bright and colorful and patched in different areas. He's got a long sunken face with kind of a white beard that hangs down, and he's clutched onto a gnarled cane that's got all these intricate carvings in it, and like just in different places around his body he's just got a bunch of shiny jewelry and bits and bobs that are hanging off of him. So what does a hunter want to do with lycanthropes?
I'm currently employed by the 2 Malareska siblings. Whatever they want to do, I want to do, so.
And I suppose you're just gonna go straight home and tell everyone our little secret.
He's thinking for a second. No, maybe, I don't know yet. You all seem well enough. And if we decide to storm here, who else is going to make the wine?
Exactly. You need us. And he just kind of pokes you with the staff.
So is that all you wanted to say, or?
Just know, we're always watching.
Yeah, that's perturbing. Bartholomew throws another blight into the fire.
And it's at that point that... Oh, his name's Adrian, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. It's at that point that Adrian arrives, his arm in a sling, and says, "Hello, Father. See, you've already started talking to some of our guests. Well, you gotta go talk to some more." "Great! That sounds wonderful." And now we'll cut to Silme.
Was I given a book?
What kind?
I don't know. Any? I was
book?
told there was a library.
You can get there's no library in here, I don't think. Did Rosalia say there was a library?
Yeah.
Then there's the library.
Silme somehow has a pair of spectacles. Oh.
A lot of the books are actually handwritten. I don't know, is there a movable type printing press in D&D
Barovia?
lore? I guess all books are technically handwritten now. Oh my.
There is in
You
Waterdeep,
actually got the
but-
spectacles. That's fantastic.
Thanks, Abby. Okay. She's full on just like taking notes, writing things, transcribing from a book.
Oh, I see that you're taking well to stealing all of our secrets.
Oh no, not stealing, learning. I'm
That's what
Silme
we're calling it
Malveska.
nowadays.
She offers her hand.
Slimy Malrezka.
Silme, but I can understand the confusion even though you haven't seen it written.
Davian. And he reaches out and his hand is all gnarled and clawed.
Damien?
Davian.
Oh,
With
Dave?
a B.
Oh, like avian. I like it.
Yes, very clever.
Was that of your mother's deciding?
No.
Anyways, I have been told by your lovely son, Adrian, that that you know how to perform the spell to remove lycanthropy from people who have been given it.
I'm sure he's been telling you a lot of things.
Yes, it is all quite helpful because with your help and with this research, I will be able to relieve those who have been affected with other lycanthropy curses that are undesirable to them, or to, if it is a plague upon them, or a city, or something such.
How very charitable of you.
Yeah.
You
Well,
won't breathe a word of where you got this information.
I mean, no. I mean, if you don't want me to, I don't want to take credit for everything, but I won't say who if that's what you prefer.
I don't care who takes credit for it. I don't want people knocking on my doors and blabbing all over Barovia our secrets.
Of course, no, I understand. Trust me, I understand the need and desire for secrecy. So no, I will of course keep your family's secrets close to me.
Adrian will actually come up behind Davian and like push up a chair and say, "Father, sit down. You're cranky when you're on your goiters." And he'll just kind of. So what all do you want to know?
Well, if you could, I know the spell. In my studies, it is called removing a curse. I know that is a harsh word that I'm assuming that you do not use. But I've found out that you need blood of the one that turned you, as well as to do the spell under a new moon. And so I was just wondering if you could walk me through the process so that I could take thorough notes so that I can repeat it and never have to talk to you about it again, if that is what you desire.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Right.
Those are all good notes, but you're missing something.
Oh.
You need to make sure that they've turned already.
Oh.
And you need to make sure that they're in the form that you don't want them to be in.
Oh, okay. Turned already. So after the first full moon. And then, and I'm aware that there are different forms, a hybrid and a fully creatured mammal avian form. Which form? Either of those, or is one definitely?
Either of those are fine.
Right, okay.
But you don't want them in their human form when you perform it.
You
could get rid of their human form, and then they're stuck in their hybrid form forever.
Oh, has that happened?
Yes, it's very embarrassing.
I understand. I understand completely. And either hybrid or full turned. Is there a term for being fully turned? Because there is a hybrid form, and then is there were form?
Yes.
Fully turned.
There's the hybrid form, and there's the beast form, and then there's the humanoid form.
Beast. And if the creature who has bitten the individual is deceased, what happens then?
You're fucked.
Oh, they are fucked. Okay. Must be alive. Blood. If they are recently deceased, does that matter? As long as their blood is red?
The blood's got to come from a living being.
Blood must okay. Must be living alive. Underscored. Is there anything else I should know? I have, and I'm going to show him my spell book. What steps are laid out, like candles and what other nonsense. Does that look correct to you?
He kind of like scrunches up his face and squints at it. This is the gaze of a man who is too proud for spectacles. And he will peer out of his good eye and be like, this is very thorough. You should be fine so long as you don't fuck it up.
Well, with your guidance, as far as the things that you've told me, is there anything else you can think of before we commence with our being done talking?
No.
Do you know what other types of were creatures there are? I know werewolves are very common.
We've lived here for generations.
Right.
The only things that I've seen are were-ravens and werewolves.
Right.
Now, there are outsiders who come in here and claim that there are other types.
Right.
But I've never seen them.
Right. This is a random question and might be a shot in the dark here, but do you perhaps know anything about, I don't know if it's a curse, but vampirism?
Vampirism isn't a curse. It's death.
Right, but not all
You
death.
can't cure vampirism. You can't cure death.
That's true, but you can turn a living thing into a vampire, and not all dead things are vampires.
You're not making any sense.
So to be turned into a vampire, one must be turned, yes?
Yes,
They
of course.
are not born, right? So when one is turned into a vampire, they are in turn killed, right?
Yes.
So when you kill a normal person, they do not become a vampire.
A vampire? Ugh, this is basic stuff, girl. I can't believe you don't know this. A vampire is made when a powerful vampire drains someone dry and then buries them.
Buries them in a specific place, or is it a rift around it?
They just need dirt on top of them.
Oh. I'm sorry. You want to come over here? Ophi's very interested, guys. Okay, so and is it a magical means, or is it a curse of the blood?
Who's to say?
Do you know what can harm a vampire? Any vampire?
Stake to the heart will do it.
Wooden or metal?
Wood.
Wooden stake. Wooden. And does it have to be blessed or a specific kind of wood?
No.
Just wood.
Would a stake to your heart have to be blessed or anything?
Well, no, but I am not a mythical creature.
Damn right you aren't.
Wooden stake, noted. And so when one is turned into a vampire, they cannot be... I know that there is some sort of courting process that the vampire goes about. Is that correct? They will acquire a target and use a magic to make them come closer to them or come to them or be...
You're talking about charming.
Charming, yes, yes.
Now that's a magical effect. You can do that.
Yes, yes. It's very similar, or is it something they can just do?
Well, it's innate to their abilities, so
Right.
far as I can tell.
All right. Do you know when the point of no return is?
The point
When-
of no return.
When being bitten by a vampire.
I reckon it would be death.
Once
Wouldn't
they
you?
are dead, then they turn. So one who is being courted or such is not hopeless. They can still pull away from the charm effect, yes?
That depends. Who's the vampire?
I mean, there's only one here, right? Right?
There are more than just one vampire, but if you're talking about the one I think you're talking about, then things look pretty grim.
Right.
Strahd gets what she wants.
Strahd might. How many vampires are there?
I'm not keeping a running count. Or at least I tried to. He like pulls like a rolling paper out of his coat.
Uh-huh.
They get made and die too often for us to keep track.
Right. But so the smaller formed, the lesser vampires are easier to kill.
Do you really think Strahd would allow there to be another strong vampire in her domain?
It's very intelligent of her. So if this is this charming effect, is it something innate that they could do, like something I could do, then it could be broken the same way that a spell that I do could be broken, attacking the creature who is doing the thing. So if Strahd is trying to bring in someone with her charm and she is attacked, there is a chance that we could break this concentration and free the victim.
That's awfully optimistic of you.
But it is possible. And that is hope. And I think what people need here is a little bit of hope.
Well, I'll tell you what. What people respond to here is wine.
I understand that.
It lets them forget their troubles for at least a little bit.
I think that people need to... I think that many people who pull together can do more than one person. So if all of the people of Barovia decided to stand up against Strahd, what, is she going to kill everyone? She already has you trapped here. Maybe they do need hope. Hope that there is a chance that they can escape or kill the vampire.
How long have you been in Barovia, girl?
Less than a week.
5 days.
Less than a week.
Well, Perhaps you will learn with time.
I would rather die than be caged again.
Damn, girl. Get it, Silme?
This is the worst place to rather die than be caged again, mind
I
you.
guess that's true.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Why, Nance? All right, moving on.
Well, you've got the right idea about cages. I'll give you that.
Thank you for your insight. It was very helpful. I think I am prepared to help those who need it.
Whatever gets you out of my face.
Your
He's
sister
gonna-
or your daughter was very brave.
I know.
Are you
And
one of
he-
those fathers that does tough love because you want everyone to think you don't care, but deep down you really care a lot?
He just pulls a bottle of wine out of his cloak, uncorks it, and starts drinking as he walks out.
I bet he is.
Adrian's just kind of in the corner going like, kind of nodding and shrugging like, yeah, basically. He's still a dirtbag though.
As are most parents.
They don't all get it right.
No, but usually their children do.
Boy, you really hope they can. And later that evening, as Kefris is getting ready for bed, Irina will come busting into the room and say, I've had the breakthrough.
Yes.
Big day, I know. And she'll rush up to you and grab your ilmatory cords and just pull on the ends, and the community knot comes undone. And she's all like, the community knot.
Okay.
Hardest to do, hardest to tie, easiest to break. Why is that?
Well, it's because it's towards the end and you have tiny little bits of rope. It's actually kind of difficult to keep them all together.
Exactly. And that's because you're trying to tie it yourself. Here, hold on. And she'll just kind of like turn you around and start tying it. What is the point of having a community knot if you're doing it all yourself? You need someone to help you. And then she just pulls it tight. See? It's not going anywhere.
Kind of flex a little bit. Just that's... You're incredible.
She just smiles at you. And as you flex that knot, you realize you can't like move it as far as you thought you could. And then you look down and realize that that knot has actually connected you to a hook in the wall.
Hey.
And Irina kind of steps back, just sort of like rubbing her chin, and says, there's just one thing that I don't understand though. And you realize that your other arm all of a sudden has your cords on, and that too is connected to a hook in the wall. And you look down and you've got cords wrapped up all along your feet as well. And a dark shadow appears in the doorway. I don't understand why it is that your god wants you to suffer. And the beast walks in, and it just settles itself in front of you and reaches out a claw and begins to dig into your abdomen. And it pulls out a hunk of flesh and begins to eat.
And I feel all of this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's horrifying.
And this is... to be fair, okay, just to clarify, when you say the beast, you mean me beastie form and not like Strahd walks in and just like, fucking tasty and starts nomming on me?
No, yes, I mean the beast. I mean the hulking form that is you, with the horns and the claws and just completely buffed out. I need Silme and Bartholomew to make perception checks.
Feels good.
Ah,
This is what I wanted.
I'm a professional.
I got a 23.
23?
Yeah.
Okay. Bartholomew, at some point during the night, you need to get up and go to the bathroom. And as you do so, you realize that Kefris's doorway is hanging open.
Do I hear anything, or is it just open?
Deathly quiet.
He's gonna walk over to the doorway and just like peek a head in.
The bed is in disarray, as is the rest of the room. And it looks like there are drag marks leading out the door and down the hallway.
He sprints down the hallway, following the marks.
All right.
And he's just yelling.
I got a 13, by the way.
I guess he's gonna yell Silme's name.
Yeah, that's enough to hear Bartholomew at least.
Was I asleep?
Yeah,
Ah,
everyone was.
Mabel, what's going on?
I don't know, Miss Silme.
Who just yelled my name?
I think it's Bartholomew.
Ugh.
Something's wrong.
She grabs her robe and runs out the door.
Yep, as does Maybelle, who has her hair up in curlers.
Of course she does.
Because of course she does. The two of you will, the two of you will tail after Bartholomew as he runs out the door, and those clawed drag marks in the ground have led out the door and across the dirt road and into the woods.
We go. Silme goes barefoot into the night.
All right. Give me a survival check, somebody.
Yes. Hello, Miss Mina. Do you know we're doing vampire stuff?
Speedy, I assume that you should be doing this role.
You can assist him if you'd like.
I would like to assist.
Yeah, I got a 14.
With advantage?
14. Yeah, it was a 3 otherwise.
Oh. All right. So you follow these claw marks out into the woods, and for a brief, frightening moment, you lose track of the tracks. And as you're just kind of standing in the middle of the woods, turning around and around, and trying to figure out where your good buddy Kefris is, you take a moment to close your eyes and just listen. And you hear a rustling off in one direction and just kind of a scraping noise.
He turns towards the noise, starts bolting in that direction.
All right. There he goes!
We chase after him. I'm actually a lot faster without my heels on. Surprisingly.
Amazing. Running barefoot through the woods. All right. Bartholomew, you go rushing through the woods. Branches are scratching at your face. Plants are whipping by. And finally, you almost trip over it. There is a figure hunched in the brush.
Skid to a stop.
Kefris?
If Silme's walking closer, Bartholomew puts his hand out to push her back.
What?
Both of you have dark vision, right?
Yee.
All right. You can see in the darkness, this figure is hunched over something else, and it is making this scraping noise.
I'm gonna kick it.
Your feet sinks into a soft body, and it flips over, and this wide grin meets your face, and it goes, and it's a fucking scarecrow again.
I grab onto Maybell.
Kefris, this commotion is enough to wake you up.
You okay, buddy?
Goddamn scarecrow again. Okay.
This
Sad.
moment is brought to you by Tyler.
Be
All
sad.
right, thanks, Tyler. Is this thing the thing that smiled at me? Is it my brother or is it something else?
The thing that's smiling at you is a scarecrow that was crouched over your brother and digging into his abdomen.
Oh yeah, 100% making an attack on it.
All right.
The only thing I have left is a 3rd level. I mean, I could cast anything at 3rd level, but I'm gonna do a 3rd level magic missile at it.
Dang, bro.
Ah!
All right. That magic missile will just absolutely explode this scarecrow. Feathers and hay goes flying everywhere. And Kefris, who had been kind of twisting and turning on the ground, you finally awaken.
Look down and just see that my abdomen has been fucking eaten into by a scarecrow.
Yep. That is what you see. You're going to need to take... and since technically you would have been raging for this, it's going to be half of this. But you're going to take 14 slashing damage.
Halved. Well, 14 is already halved.
And your maximum HP will be reduced by 1.
Solid.
69, folks.
All right.
All right.
Only took Gwen 7 levels to get there.
So,
9 hells. What
Maybell.
happened to him?
Maybell, help!
No, Speedy's gonna tell Maybell to go back to his room, into his bag. There's a potion of healing in there. And he'll start, like, ripping his shirt to make bindings.
Use his cords.
Of course. And Maybell turns around to run back to the house and then just faints.
Maybell!
Silme, take care of that.
Really?
I'm going to start trying to medicine myself, if possible.
I got an 18 on a medicine check to help out.
I'll
Sure
give you advantage then.
When you guys get take off the shirt and get a better look at what's going on here, the wounds actually turn out to be fairly superficial compared to what you were experiencing in your dream. This is not as bad as what you thought it was.
Yeah.
Bartholomew pulls a face, like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Pinches it, like, a little too tight to get him to wake up a little bit more.
It's really more like cat scratches. Like,
I kind of look around it to see, because it felt like it was digging in pretty deep. So this is definitely like I dreamt I bought a thing. What is the current state of my bank account? Like, just looking at it to see if there was any reality to the dream. And where are we?
Approximately, I would say, like, I was gonna jokingly say a mile out.
yeah. No, more like 100 meters, I'd say.
100 meters from the farm or the vineyard.
Okay. That's good. That, thank you. I feel like I would have eventually woken up. But having friends around and family when there is a scarecrow eating your stomach is awfully comforting.
And yet it's not the strangest thing that we've done all week.
I wish it were. But I don't feel like this is a place keen on wishes.
You alright?
Oh, never better!
I see, have you stopped the bleeding?
Oh no, it just won't. Yes, it's mostly superficial. It'll be fine.
Kefris!
Hello, sister.
Come here, please. Please come here.
Speedy helps him up.
And I definitely go to my sister. Head's
She's
kind of
sitting
just
down
like
with... She's
hunched.
sitting down with Maybelle's head in her lap. Just kind of stroking her hair. Are you okay?
Physically, it would appear so. Mentally, I can let you know in the morning how I'm doing on that department. Right now, it's, I went to sleep in my room, and then I woke up here. So as you can see, I am under a little bit of stress.
No, I understand. I'm not blaming you for anything. What did you dream of?
I dreamt that I was talking to Irina, and she told me that she had a breakthrough, and it honestly, what she said made a lot of sense. It was about working together and well, you know, helping each other out. And then I noticed that my arms were tied and that my legs were tied, although I gave her no additional rope. And then I'm assuming what you all see when I out was in the room as well, and it started to eat me. And
Kefris,
yes, sister.
I learned something today that I think would be very beneficial for you.
And what, pray tell, would that be?
Will you sit down?
I really do feel comfortable standing right now. I can kind of... helps with the blood flow.
Right.
I'm feeling very awake right now and just sort of need to shimmy a bit.
In lycanthropy, there are two sides of a person. There is the beast side and there is the human side. And only when the two are embraced and work together can they be cohesive and good. The reason werewolves, well, the ones that we've seen, are so primal and uncontrolled is because the people who are, and I don't know everything, obviously, but it's because these people are not embracing this part of themselves. And we don't know what's going on with you, but I think what we need to do is explore it as if we'd explore anything. If you keep fighting it, you're going to keep having these episodes.
And what am I supposed to do then? Embrace the part of me that wants to eat you.
No.
Embrace the part of me that I'm pretty sure Speedy would shoot if given the opportunity.
The monster only comes out of not embracing it. If you embrace it, you can control it. It becomes you. You are putting a blockade between you and this thing, this beast.
It's terrifying.
I understand. Trust me, I understand that. I have seen it from the outside, okay? You have clawed hands and you have horns, okay? Trust me, I am not just saying this from not experience, all right? I know that I am the sister that keeps everything together, and I know that I'm supposed to be the logical one. And yes, it does terrify me, Kefris, but if you keep pushing this thing away and locking it up, then what does any creature do when it is caged? It rebels. It becomes a terrifying creature of anger and whatnot. But if you tame it, then it behaves.
What am I supposed to do? Wait until the next time I dream of it and say, hey, maybe don't eat me, don't eat my sister, let's sit down and have some cheese sandwiches and talk this whole thing out.
You have proven that you can control when it comes out. Anytime we are in danger, it comes out. Is that correct?
I'm not sure, because you're asking me about things I don't remember.
Because you are suppressing it.
Okay.
Tomorrow,
Okay.
we will practice controlling the beast. Because if we don't, worst case scenario, continue on the same road we're on, and you won't sleep ever.
I have some reservations about this. If my input is
Always valued, Speedy.
valued in this whole taming practice session, if the beast were to fully take hold and go berserk, I have seen this man shrug off so much shit when he's under that influence. Do you have a way to stop him?
Yes.
Or are we just going to let him run rampant?
If
Yes.
the beast took entirely control of me, I would hope that you put me down. That's not me, that's not my life.
If there was no hope. But as I've discovered today, in finding the cure for lycanthropy, well, not finding, I was told, but discovering what to do to help our friend Speedy with this ailment that has come upon him and anyone else, we are one step closer to freeing this land. And I will be damned if I'm not going to free you too.
I mean,
Do you hear me?
Yes, Miss Silme.
Yes, Miss Silme.
Thank you. Now, everyone, help me carry Maybell so we can go to bed.
I think Bartholomew has, he just like lifts Maybell, piggybacks her, walking towards the...
Silme will, in ceremony, help her brother back. I don't know, she's actually physically capable of helping him back.
If you try and pick me up, it just feels
Oh,
really
no, I'm
awkward.
trying to pick you
What
up.
are you doing?
There's no way Silme can pick you up. Just like a taking you by the arm thing.
Lean on me, but not too much.
Yeah. I am Beth.
I will accept the help that is given to me.
All right.
As you should.
As she does so, you go to take his arm and kind of help him up, and there's like a little prick as you grab his shoulder, and then you look down and you realize he's just got like a growth sticking out.
We're just not going to mention that right now. We've had a moment. We're just going to shift my hand slightly and keep going.
There's more weird textures along his back.
That's okay. Ignoring it for the moment.
All right. Kefris, you're not going to get a long rest tonight.
I wouldn't dream of it.
You can, however, take a short rest if you would like. Everybody else, go ahead and take your long rest.
Seems pretty good.
Maybell awakens, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
eventually.
Yeah, once she wakes back up, Silme will have her take a sentry and literally watch over Kepris during the night.
I should have been watching him to begin with.
So, for reference from now on, Silme,
Yes?
remember that alarm spell that you cast. Anyway, that was good. We need more of that.
Right, I will do that when possible. It does take up some of my energy, though I can, if given time, if there's enough. Yes, I will do that.
It's also a ritual.
That's what I was going to say, but it was, I didn't want to explain. I've already been explaining spells a lot today, so I thought maybe.
But
Cut
how
it
does
down
it...
on that.
That's completely fine. All right. So Bartholomew and Silme, go ahead and take a long rest. When morning comes, the Martikovs load you up with a wagon of wine, and all of you are able to set off towards Krezk. And at this point, we're going to go on our break.
I did want to have one quick aside to Maybell, and it was very brief. When you are a bird, can you change your face into a person's face?
No, that's insane.
Well, now I just feel stupid, but thank you.
You kept on talking to me as though I could answer you. I couldn't
You are
answer you,
answering.
Mr. Kefris.
It was that voice. It was that voice right there from your face, out of a bird.
Well,
I'll
I would hope
remember
that
it.
my voice would come out of my face, but there shouldn't be a face on a bird.
Look, we were underground. There was all of those root things.
You were all tripping balls down there, Mr. Kefris. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm glad you tell me after the fact. Why couldn't person face bird body you said, hey, you're tripping balls right now, and I would have been... Actually, no, I'm glad you didn't say anything.
I have no idea
I'm glad.
what my face was telling you down there.
I'm glad you didn't tell me I was tripping, because that would have made me more upset than anything. So, thank you for keeping quiet about it. And that was it. That was all Kefris wanted to say, was just to confirm it.
You should try to get some sleep, Mr. Kefris. I think you're putting it off.
Sorry, I was going to say we have a couple hours. We have, 2-hour ride, right?
It's not that far
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things. It's probably 2 hours. Anyway,
That's fair, but
when you
break.
when you lie back down in bed that night, you do eventually realize that there's the pillow has a weird hole in it that wasn't there before. And then you realize it's because the horn on your head has broken skin and it has started messing up the bedding. And now we go on break.
Excellent. So, with that, I would like to say thank you to everybody who has stopped by and joined us on this wonderfully spooky Tuesday. And thank you to all of these players and this fantastic DM for putting on Curse of Strahd. I greatly enjoy this. We are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go no place unless it is to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to bit.ly/adventure merch. Pick yourself up something nice. And with that, we will see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. Bye-bye! Hello, everyone. And we are back. I have unmuted people. We should be good. So, I'm a pokeboy, and I destroyed my guest sheets. Whoops. Skedaddling.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I was like, guest sheets? What does that mean?
Not my bed, but I destroyed it anyways.
That's what you did. All right. So morning arrives. You do not have as restful a night as you would have expected, and give me a religion check.
Me?
Yes, you.
Okay.
Mr. Sir.
An 18.
18. That's great. Ilmater doesn't normally deal in nightmares.
No, it doesn't. Which makes me think this is not Ilmater, but something else. Which is great.
And it is now starting to hurt you. Physically. Not just mentally or emotionally. But this is becoming a problem.
I am definitely taking some wine to try and, like, numb it all out. Because it's Barovia, and we cured TM a winery.
And we self-medicate here in Barovia.
That we do.
With wine.
Fine.
Should we be taking any of this wine back to your hometown?
It would be greatly appreciated, but I don't think they would have enough to supply both Krezk and my town. So we'll do what we can for now. When they get a new shipment, they can send it out.
Adrian is overseeing the wine getting loaded onto the cart. And he will turn around, come back, and be all like, all right, well, you all should be about ready to go. Well, I guess enjoy it while you can have it. We're gonna run out eventually if we don't find those stones.
Are you going to be delivering to Vallaki?
Well, we need to wait for the next batch to ferment, but yes, we'll take a shipment to Vallaki as soon as possible.
Will that be in the next day or two, or will it be weeks?
It'll probably be a couple of weeks, honestly.
Okay, I just had a letter I wanted delivered there, and I was wondering if you were going there.
Do you know anything about winemaking? Because the
No.
GM doesn't.
No, it does take quite some time. I'm aware of that.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if this would be too big of an ask. Your companions, and she points up to the ravens. Would I be able to hire one of them to deliver a letter for me?
Where to?
To Vallaki.
Yeah, that sounds doable.
All right. She pulls out a letter to Leo from her jacket and hands it to him. It is going to a Leo, the burgomaster's adopted son. So
The younger one.
the youngest one, please.
Okay.
Petrovich? No,
Vlakovic.
Vlakovic. Yes.
You know, like Vallaki.
Yeah. So, if they could deliver it to young Leo, that would be incredible.
Tell you what, I'll have him do this for free if you promise to help us out with these stones once we figure out where they are.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sorry. I will. My companions may speak for themselves.
Oh, meanwhile, I overheard at some point you were talking about Madame Ava's card reading, etc., etc. Well, we know a lot about Barovia. We don't know everything about Barovia.
Right.
We know a guy.
Oh.
He's gonna kind of lean in conspiratorially with Bartholomew and say, have you ever heard of the Hermit?
Have I ever heard of the Hermit?
You have.
I have.
You have not.
I have not. He shakes his head.
Yeah, and he likes it that way. The Hermit is about the most secretive person in Barovia, but he knows it front and back.
Do you know how we could get in contact with him?
We talk to him sometimes, but we haven't heard from him in a while. Chances are, he'll find you.
Great.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was his name?
The Hermit.
Oh, just the. Oh,
What was one of the cards? Was the Hermit one of the cards we pulled, or am I thinking about like the Major Arcana?
Um,
The
I'm thinking
cards were the Myrmidon, the Wizard, and the Druid.
mhm.
All right, well, it looks like all the wine is loaded up.
Thank you very much for all of your assistance. You've been more helpful than I think you know. It was lovely to meet you.
Yes, and our entire family is very grateful for everything that you've done for us.
Of course,
Even my dad.
I figured as much. Tell your sister we said goodbye and that we will miss her and speak to her soon.
Will do. And he will take that letter to Leo, tie it to a raven's foot, and give it instructions. He just kind of picks it up and goes, ah! And then lets it go.
if I ever start talking to wolves like that, I don't.
Wouldn't that be quite useful?
I don't know. Looking at something and going "awoo."
Ah, woo, that is not what they sound like.
We
I-
get it. You want us to put you down if you turn into a wolf.
No, I mean like I had a segue, but I lost it. Yeah.
All right, who's driving the carriage that you came in, and who is driving the wine cart?
Ooh.
I am not good with animals.
Mabel can handle the carriage. I can handle the cart.
I'll sit up front with Maybell. This is
Awesome.
fun.
Road trip. All right, so you guys travel back to Krezk. I'd say probably leave fairly early in the morning. You know, no use in wasting the day. And you go back up the Svalich Road. You pass all of the fields and things that you passed on your way in. You are blessedly not accosted on the road. And you arrive back on the hill that Krezk is situated on. And you see once again the tall stone walls at the top of the hill and the Abbey of St. Markovia just kind of clinging to the cliff above the village. And you arrive at the gate, and the burgomaster is summoned, and he will come. And Dmitry Krezkov, his name. You see him again. He's tall, kind of regal, very distinguished. You can see that he's got the touch of age on him, kind of the bags under the eyes. He has dark skin, bald head, and I'll say a gray goatee. And he will say, "Well, looks like you delivered.
Ta-da!
As promised, entry to the city." And the doors are open. And beyond those doors, you see a cozy little city that you got only a glimpse of, a moment's glimpse of a couple of days before?
The day before.
The day before.
Yeah.
Boy, how do you guys have one? No, it's the day before the day before, as you slept outside the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I imagine he goes around and gives everybody shakes everybody's hand. And like when he shakes Kefris's hand, he kind of like quirks his eyebrow at him. But then he just like politely doesn't say anything, and the carts are let through the gate. Now, Krezk is a cozy little town. They're like, compared to Vallaki, Vallaki was crowded. There was probably no less than 100 buildings inside the wooden palisade of Vallaki, but Krezk, probably about 20 little quaint cottages. You can see goats and chickens and pigs being tended to. There are little gardens, plenty of trees within the walls. It seems to be a completely insular community. Everything that they need is right here. And as he told you, nobody needs to leave. Nobody needs to come in. except for the wine. And you deliver the wine to the storehouse, and as you are probably discussing what you're going to do next, you like are getting kind of like wary glances from all of the people that live here. It's a little bit colder here, so they're all dressed warmer. However, you are surprised to find a familiar face in Krezk. Bobbing between the trees is a black cap and the white hair of your friend Steshin von Antiel.
Oh, gods.
He is
And-
not going to believe what we have been through.
And
When was
trailing
the last
after
time-
him is the small form of Arabelle.
Oh, yes, the child. He said that's the
I
child.
thought that he was taking her back to her village.
Maybe this is her village.
This is
And
not
I,
a
I,
village.
I imagine Arabelle is the first person to notice you guys, and she just kind of like looks at you guys in surprise, and then she will tug on Steshin's trench coat, and then point.
Arabelle! And she'll hold out her arms.
Wizard! It's good to see you again.
Are we allowed in this town? Is that acceptable?
I don't know.
Yes, well, perhaps for my life's sake, we should keep that on the down low. How about that? Try
Yeah,
to be-
well, I don't know if I ever paid attention to what your name is, so I'm just going by whatever your card was.
Right. How
Yo,
about...
Myrmidon, Druid.
And at that point, Stetchen will approach and, remove his hat and, Miss Silme, your name isn't Speedy. What is your real name?
Bartholomew. You should know by now. Everyone calls me that in the village.
Bartholomew?
Von
And
Antiel.
Kefris? And he puts out a hand.
And Kefris will shake it and just say, wait, did you say wizard, myrmidon, and druid?
Yeah.
Those
Remember,
are
she
us
drew our
three.
cards.
Yeah, those are your cards, remember?
Were those also the cards that Madame Ava gave us? Okay. Just... He's
Fucking
tired.
magic you visit. I'm just tired. What are you doing here, Sechin?
Well, we tried to find Arabelle's people, but it would appear that they have left Barovia.
Silme just goes, have they...
No, there's, we talked to the Dusk Elves, and they will be back. The Vestani are like that. They can disappear and reappear.
I told you earlier when we first met, the Vistani were the only people allowed to leave Barovia for helping Strahd when
Or,
it was...
or at least not hindering her. And he emphasizes the her because most people don't believe him, and it makes him mad.
How do you think Calum feels about round Earth?
Mm-hmm. Wait! I have a present for each of you. And he reaches in his pouch, and
It's
he,
been 2 days.
I know.
Where
but
did you find money?
when we weren't running from creatures of the night, I had short time to make things. And he holds out this little vial that looks like it's perfume, and he hands it to Silme.
Ooh.
And then he says, but it is not as it appears. It is holy water. Splash it on the undead, and they will, burn and bubble.
Oh.
And then he reaches in the pouch and he pulls out a different vial, and this is like more of a clay pot type thing. And he hands one to Kefris and one to Bartholomew, and he says, "There are potions of health. They will help you. Bring back your vitality."
Jade.
Thank you. You're a true friend.
Try.
Bartholomew takes like a stray raven feather that was probably like hanging off him, and then just like gingerly like tucks it in the lapel of Stetchen's coat.
I'm so sorry. We didn't have time to. We have wine.
No, it's okay. I must keep the wits.
Right. Why are you here?
The hermit. We seek him. And,
Oh.
and the Vestani. Until they come back, we need somewhere safe for Arabelle. And he like pats her on the head.
Wait, how were you allowed in here? We had to go free a farm from
Whoa.
lights and druids.
It's a winery.
It's still a farm.
The grape farm. Winery is just the place where they process it, but we freed the land around it.
Thank you, Kefris.
On your side, sister.
And while you were explaining that, he was like looking to the side and kind of nodding. And then he looks around and then he leans in and he says, well, you know how I can speak to those who are not here anymore.
Yes.
The Burgermeister's son has recently died, and I'm going to speak to him.
Which one?
This Burgomaster's sister.
This Burgermeister.
Not the other one.
The one in this town. Not the other one.
Oh,
I mean, who really cares if Isaac
I
dies, though?
I have made you.
I cared. I didn't get invited to the party.
My apologies. I have made you fret. No.
No.
This one here.
It wasn't Leo.
That's very terrible. How did he pass?
I have not found out yet.
Well, the Burgomaster seemed very polite.
Oh, for Arabelle's sake, I am glad that he allowed us in. Oh, wait. And the whole time he's talking to you, he does have his specs up, so you can't really see his eyes. And then he says, and other than fighting blights, did you say? What else?
Perhaps we should find a tavern or a place to sit, get some food, so we're not standing in the middle of the street talking about this.
Fair enough.
Arabelle, this shows them where that is.
As far as I can tell, there is no tavern here.
Oh,
Well, then let's find
Why
a
do they
nice
need this
to
much
sit under.
I'm sure if you ask the Burgomaster really nice, he'll let you stay.
We have
Evidently,
earned
he's got
our
some
way,
empty
all right?
rooms.
He's just going to tell us to leave at the end of the day, isn't he?
What? Myrmidon? You're his favorite person right now. You brought wine into the city.
Okay. But I
Also,
still...
good job still being alive. You promised me you would be.
That I did.
Well, it's only been 2 days, so...
What is that supposed to mean? How... Okay.
Right,
Whoa.
you still got time.
I made you laugh.
You are both incredibly morbid. Maybe I will talk to this Burgomaster myself.
I live in Barovia. What do you expect from me?
I expect
That's
a
the
little
point.
bit of decency, thank you. And then he will begin walking away in a direction and will eventually find his way to the Burgomaster. If possible.
That is what you do.
Yeah.
You find the Burgomaster just kind of wistfully standing next to his building and looking off towards the northern part of the city.
Burgomaster, I'm terribly sorry. I've been having rather spotty memory as of late. What was your last name?
Krezk.
Thank you.
If you ever forget, you can just remember what the city is called and add an "ov" to the end of it. That's kind of how burgomasters work around here.
Is that? Are you serious? That saves me so much time. Anyways.
You know, except for Vlakovic.
But that was because there was like the Petroviches
And
came into the
Imperovich.
family as well, so it could just be attributed to the. Getting off topic here. I had a question. about the length of our stay. We were planning on possibly leaving a friend with you. Is that possible?
Who? Exactly.
Auburn hair.
Ah. Well, you have been a good friend to my village, and I see no reason to exclude any of you, honestly. You all seem to be good people. Any or all of you could stay here, could make a home here. You would have to work, of course, and contribute to the community, but we could set about building a cottage.
Do you have a tavern, Gentry?
No, we do not. There is at most 20 families in this
I see.
village. We don't have many visitors.
That makes sense.
We're a pretty close-knit community here.
Is there... I have been sleepwalking as of late. Is there possibly a unoccupied cottage or a cottage that has not as many current residents in it that we could occupy during our stay? I wouldn't want to keep any of them up at night.
I am the only person living in my house as of late, and as the person who decides whether or not people can enter or leave this town, I take it upon myself to open my home to visitors.
We would be forever in your debt.
Well, I will have a room ready for you. Yeah. And your friends.
Thank you, Burgomaster. There will be another staying with us, if that's all right. I believe you've already made arrangements with them, if I'm to be correct in this matter. Our acquaintance Stetchen.
Ah, yes, the medium.
Yes.
Yes, he will be staying with me as well.
Excellent. Thank you for your time, and if you would like for us to bring a gift or a ingredient for a meal this evening, we will do our best to provide. We do not want to seem like ungrateful guests when you are being so kind as to open up your doors.
Well, you did already bring the wine, which I am willing to accept, but if you want, you could give the gardens a little peruse and see if there's any particular vegetables that whet your appetite. As for your sleepwalking, I don't recognize your vestments, but you seem to be a holy man.
Yes. I try my best to be.
Many years ago, this used to be a popular place for pilgrimages. Our spring provides us fresh water, and many people claim that there are healing properties.
That very well might provide a cure for my sleepwalking. Thank you.
Or a balm. Or a balm.
Or a balm?
Personally, I haven't. A balm.
A balm.
The opposite of a boon.
Okay. And
Not necessarily a cure, but something to ease your suffering. Personally, I haven't had much luck with the pool lately.
Is there something not right about it? Or is it just not responding?
I'm sure the pool is fine. Give me an insight check.
Okay. That is I believe, an 11.
An 11?
Yeah, an
All right.
11.
It seems that he is politely withholding his grief from you, as there seems to be something bothering him.
Right, oops. Well, I will... Which way is... I am terribly sorry for your loss. If there is anything that you need to discuss, Ilmater is the god of suffering and endurance. So if you need to get anything off your chest, I will be there as best I can to provide you any services that I may.
His expression is a little hard to read. It is cold.
It's fine.
But from like whether or not he genuinely appreciates what you're saying is hard to discern. But he is definitely bereaved.
Now, one last final question before I take up too much of your time. Which way are the gardens?
The pool is to the north. Just follow the walls.
All right.
You'll eventually find it.
Thank you.
When you see the gazebo, you've made it.
Well, it's the first time I will admit that I've seen a gazebo since I've gotten here, so it really shouldn't be too hard to miss. Thank you. And I'll just kind of give him a courteous bow and then begin making my way to this miracle pool.
He will nod respectfully. And then he will move around back to the back of his house. And you can see briefly out of the corner of your eye that there are 5 stones that are set up in the back garden of this cottage. And you realize that there's a graveyard there. And there is one freshly dug grave.
Well, that's a way to get sad and into character. Okay.
What is everybody else doing at this point?
If Bartholomew could, he would catch Irina.
All right. She seems to just sort of be meandering about the town. I think that she'll just be walking along the wall. She just kind of has her... She's tracing the stone with her fingers. And you can jog to catch up with her.
He jogs like before he gets a few feet within her, slows his pace, hands in the pocket, walks behind her a little bit.
Mm-hmm. She will kind of glance over her shoulder and then look back and then jump and go, "Jeez! Don't stop sneaking up on people like that."
I'm not sneaking up, I'm just walking.
You've got very light feet.
Hunter. It comes in handy.
I'm sure it does. She'll continue walking. She's just kind of like watching her feet as she does so, still tracing the stone with her fingers. And as the two of you are sort of circumnavigating this town, it is, in a word, peaceful. There are pastures and green fields. There is a light snow that's falling, but you can imagine that in the summer, this can be a very calm and idyllic place. It wouldn't be a bad place to settle down.
It's peaceful here.
And small.
And hopefully safe.
I'm sure.
So what are you gonna do now? If the burgomaster allows us to stay here.
I suppose I'll settle down. Try to make myself useful.
I hope you can do that.
She seems a little glum.
What? Do you want to be out on the open road, full of danger and excitement? And cursed vampire women?
She's gonna shoot you a glance.
Sorry.
That would be more exciting. But it is dangerous.
Yes. Irina, if I don't see you again for obvious reasons, you know how my village works, correct?
Sorry, you cut out right when you said for obvious reasons.
Yeah, he like motions to himself,
Mm-hmm.
like towards like the leg area.
Right.
I don't know if this is right, but I was happy for a time traveling with you.
Me too.
And he'll continue walking with her.
God. All right. I think that the two of you could actually circumnavigate the city about twice or thrice. It's not that large. And the longer you walk with her, the more you realize that she is going to feel very trapped here. Barovia was already too small a place for Irina, and Krezk is so much smaller.
That'd be irresponsible of me, though.
It's just
What
a
is
module.
What
It's
is Silme
fine.
up to?
Silme is walking arm in arm with Maybell, speaking with Stetchen and Annabelle. Well, I didn't have anything specific to speak of.
Well, Stetchen will comment about, he'll say something like, I appreciated your comedium mortis, your jape on your brother. The world needs more jokes.
Oh, yes, well, I must keep him in his place, otherwise he gets a large head or becomes a stick in the mud.
Neither is a welcome position, I would assume.
No, he's going through a lot right now, and how long have you been here?
Since my village fell, so 16 years.
Have you ever seen anything like that has befalled him? These creature-like things. He's not turning into some sort of were creature, or he doesn't seem to have any sort of lycanthropy. It seems to be coming on a little bit more every day. Have you heard of anything like this?
DM, can I make a roll? Or do I
Yeah,
just
absolutely. I think that what she's asking about right now is stuff that you had studied with him in the past, when y'all burned the midnight oil and tried to figure it out. And the conclusion that you came to is that he has received some sort of blessing from Ilmater, but it has been corrupted by entering into Barovia.
But I have not seen another individual like this?
Not exactly like this, no. You have seen people who have been blessed by their gods, but usually it's in a in a paladin sort of way. Like they are able to smite and to heal, and like more traditional, should I say, gifts from their gods.
Right. He is being gifted. Unfortunately, his deity has not the same kind of power here as others may. They, one might get magical angel wings or be able to strike with the power of the sun. But
You're telling me this is from his god? Or it's a perverted version of something because we're here?
Because, what is it they say all the time? Welcome to Barovia.
Interesting.
I have seen some like him, but not like that.
Was it something that could be cured?
No, it's something that should be embraced and taken to heart. You, unless you forsake your god, then you are just banging head against your wall.
That's what I was trying to tell him, but he always...
Maybelle's definitely like elbowing you in the ribs, like...
I know.
That you said.
It's exactly what I said, and you were passed out when I said that too, so it was very powerful.
Sometimes I pretend to still be passed out. But I just don't want to deal with the situation.
You know, that's acceptable. I understand. I completely accept your way you are.
Is one of your forms a possum by chance? He laughs to himself.
Wait, what did he say?
One of your forms a possum by chance?
A possum? Oh, that's adorable. That's really funny. Wow, Bishop, you really do have a sense of humor.
Little one, what card did you draw for yourself, or do you not do readings for yourself?
No. Why would I do that?
Well, you seem to know everything about everyone else. You're not curious about your own past, present, and future?
You know, I like to be surprised.
And
when you have as much insight into the future as I do, any surprise is a pleasant one.
One who stares into the abyss, who can read the abyss. This is a dangerous situation. You are incorrect, little one. Don't do that. No.
Oh.
You'll make yourself crazy. I've seen that.
Were we going to head to the Burgomaster's house? Were you to be summoned today?
I am staying there.
Oh, I guess we should figure out where we're staying. I mean, we could always sleep outside, rough it.
That would be unacceptable.
I would also dislike that very much. But what I would like, if perhaps we have some time, is perhaps a nice picnic out on the green grass. She kind of looks over at Maybelle.
This sounds very pleasant. I can retrieve something from my trunk to add to the picnic.
Oh, well, I was thinking we haven't had much alone time.
Oh, forgive me. Arabelle, let us leave.
Maybelle was already making a grocery list in her mind for everybody to go to the picnic, and she's like, oh, yes, I think I'd like that very much.
And when she says that, I'm like, oh, see, so I'm not that stupid. Arabelle,
sorry.
Let us go. And he clacks his heels in a big bow, and he sort of brings his hat up from nowhere and places it back on his head, and it's like, I will see you all later when you find somewhere to stay.
If you run into my brother, please tell him that we are fine and picnicking.
Picnicking, yes, picnicking.
I'll do.
Mm-hmm. And Maybelle will take you by the arm and just kind of smile and look sheepishly back at Station, and the two of you will walk off to a place where you can go have a nice little picnic by yourselves. And as they're walking off, Arabelle will kind of lean into Station and be like, "You still worried about that imp?"
And as Maybelle looked back, I did the
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say, it's a black heart. She does worries me, but I believe in the power of love. You know this. And he takes her hand and continues on towards the Burgomeister's residence.
All right, so you do that. I do believe that Kefris was going to go and visit the pool.
Yes, I had been honest in my inquiry about the vegetable garden, but apparently he thought I meant different, so I might as well.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
God.
No, it's fine. This works too. Honestly, I am a bit
you
curious.
passed by several vegetable gardens on your way to the pool.
I'll make note of them.
Mm-hmm.
But, the vegetables aren't going anywhere. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I will make my way to this pool.
All right.
This Healy pool.
All right. Even under the gray skies, this pool at the north end of the village shimmers and sparkles. Near its shore sits an old gazebo on the verge of collapse, a wooden statue of a mournful, bare-chested man. Its paint chipped and faded stands in the gazebo with arms outstretched, as though waiting to be embraced.
I will go to the gazebo, and I will look at this stone figure, and in a very self-reflective way, I am going to give the statue a hug.
Oh my god, I knew you would!
Yes, most certainly going to give this statue a hug. And very quietly, a definite waver in my voice, just say, "It's okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to be just fine." And I'll just kind of like pat his back a little bit.
The stone is cold in this high elevation, but you find some comfort in the way that your body heat kind of sinks into it. And when you come away, you can feel that the stone is warmer now. Go ahead, give me a religion check.
Okay. 13.
All right. You are able to infer that this statue is of an older version of the Morning Lord.
Oh. All right. Can I... So I have
also,
rope.
while you were hugging the statue, Bartholomew and Irina definitely walked by, and Irina gave like a weird look.
Bartholomew like puts his hands behind like Irina, just slowly starts pushing her.
It's going to be okay.
He's having a moment.
I'm going to take some of the rope that I have, and I'm going to make an ilmaterie tie onto the statue.
All right. Cool.
Just...
You have, do you have like just a coil of rope?
Yeah, I have 50 feet of hempen rope.
Nice. All right. So it's not the classic red ties, but it'll do it a pinch.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm into it.
And then, where is the pool?
It is spread out in front of the gazebo. And as you did those ties, it occurs to you that, yeah, actually, when somebody else does the community cord, it does hold a little tighter.
Yeah. Thanks, Dream Irina?
Dreamerina.
I don't know. I'll remember it for next time. Maybe get a little help. But yeah, so I'll find my way to the pool and just kind of look at it.
All right. It is crystal clear. You can see directly down to the bottom, and there are some stones lining the bottom of the pool, and it's almost like glass. It just reflects upward and kind of has a golden sheen to it, even in this misty, dank atmosphere.
I'm just going to keep looking at it for a while, and I am dirty as fuck. I have not bathed since we've got here. I have had weird horns growing on me that are rupturing skin. I'm covered in my blood, other people's blood, other people's blood. I'm going to, if anything, just wash my hands a little bit in it, pool it, and just have some water.
All right. It is cool and very refreshing. It tastes like you're drinking liquid light.
And do I remember, did the burgomaster say that people took swims in it?
He didn't necessarily say what people do. Roll me a religion check.
Alrighty. That's a 17.
17. All right. You know that drinking it is acceptable. But if you were to bathe in it, it would be respectful to take some into a ladle or a bucket and then walk away from the pool so that your filth doesn't,
I think
get
I'm
in.
gonna do that. Yeah. Yep. I don't have a bucket, but
Okay.
I have a water skin. I can just fill my water skin with it, and then I'll go back to the gazebo.
As you do so, you'll actually even see someone will walk up with their sheep and allow them to drink from the pool. And you'll see someone else come with a bucket and carry some water back to their home. And it seems to be that this is just, where they get their water from.
Okay. It's good. I'm glad I didn't just bloody mess of a wreck
They're
me.
drinking sores.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
just
probably good.
Don't worry about
Nice
it.
roll there, buddy.
There's soap. I actually don't have soap in my gear. That's fine. I am going to go back to the gazebo. I'm going to sit down in front of my hugging friend, and I guess I'll take off my my shirt / upper robe and just pour water on myself and just kind of scrub myself clean a little bit.
Oh yeah, and it is brisk. Oof.
Oh yeah.
I will remind you, there is snow on the ground. It is very cold, but you do feel clean, cleaner than you have been ever since you entered Barovia. It's like all of the muck and dirt of the road are washed away, and that damp stickiness that you get from that constant mist has finally left you. And from drinking the water and from bathing in the water, you receive the benefits of a lesser restoration spell.
Oh. Neat. I don't know what that does for me. I don't think anything.
I think that it takes away any one disease or poison.
Yep.
Doesn't it take away, are you exhausted?
You probably would have one level of exhaustion.
Probably.
From not getting any sleep. So yeah, go ahead and drop that exhaustion. You are...
All right.
You feel...
It also takes care of paralyzed, blind, deaf, and one other that I can't think of.
D&D Beyond will tell you all of them. But
So it turns out that those pilgrimages were, just about right. You do, however, as you're scrubbing yourself, still feel those scales. You still feel those horns poking out in weird places. And for sure, like, that horn on your head is out. You can feel some bumps along the back of your head and on the other side that are still growing.
Yuck. I will make sure to clean those especially thoroughly, if possible, or at least make sure that's where the water's concentrating on. Try and make it better.
That gets squeaky clean.
Yay! And if I see Irina and Speedy again, I will let them know that we are welcome to stay at the Burgomaster's place.
All right. Speaking of which, Silme and Maybelle have a pleasant picnic. It's a little chilly, but the two of you will get cozy under a nice blanket and have tea and sandwiches. And it is very nice, and it is a relief to kind of get away, at least for a little bit. And I think that Maybelle will say, I think I'm happy. I'm happy that everyone knows, and that we're not keeping a secret anymore.
I am too, actually. I thought it would be overwhelming at first, but no, it's way better. Although the whole
overwhelming at first, of course.
Yeah, the whole sneaking around thing was kind of hard.
Yes. Well,
I mean, do you think
form under this blanket.
when we go back, do you think we should tell Mother?
Well, we do have to get back first, of course.
Right.
But after everything that we faced over these past few days, your mother is a lot less scary.
Yes, I was thinking that as well, although she is quite terrifying still. Maybe just slightly under Strahd. Just slightly.
Well, if we get out of here, then we'll just face her the same way we did Strahd.
Right. And then we'll get married. If that's something you would want to do.
Miss Silme, is this a proposal?
I mean, I don't have any formal jewelry other than, she'll pull off a ring, one of her many. And if something you're interested in, I know we've spoken of it before, but I think now's a better time as any.
You can see tears just welling up in her eyes.
You have to say yes or no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, of course.
Something does a little thing, and then she takes the ring and she puts it on her.
Yep, that's right. And then, Maybelle just looks giddy and just, a little bit overwhelmed. And she's like, I have to. And then, words fail her, and she just leans in for a kiss.
Yes, I take her face and I kiss her back.
Aw. God. I wasn't prepared for this today.
Gotta surprise you both.
That's the point of a proposal. You're supposed to catch him up.
Actually, that's a question for Knights in the Courtyard.
Amazing. All right. So that happens. Tyler's just over here all right. The day passes peacefully. Actually, the most peaceful and non
terrifying
non-violent day that you've had in a long time. And as the sun begins to set, session, the time for the seance has finally arrived.
Okay.
So how do you want to go about this? Do you think that the rest of the party should be involved? or like would you, like invite them to the seance, or is this something that you think would be more of a private matter?
It's later in the day,
Mm-hmm.
like in the evening.
Yes, the sun is
Okay.
beginning to set. You know what? Frickin' Burgermaster did invite everybody for dinner, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
All right, did Kefris go and get some veggies?
Oh, you best believe he brought vegetables.
Awesome.
But
All right.
there was the invitation. Bartholomew has like pulled an apron out of his bag, flipped it on.
Aw, nice. I think that Silme and Maybell arrive back at the Burgermaster's house.
Where is everyone?
Maybell is absolutely flustered to find that dinner has already been made and she didn't get to help at all. And she keeps on trying to find something to do and everything's already been done, so she just has to sit down and kind of accept the fact that she's being waited on for once.
Mm-hmm.
She tries to read something. Bartholomew slaps her hand.
Exactly. And everybody has dinner, and Maybell will at least get to clear the table, and that seems to assuage her concerns a little bit. And then the time for the seance arrives.
There will be more power if we all partake, and possibly more protection if the spirits are angry.
Oh. Angry at
Oh.
what?
Sometimes they do not like to be called. Yes, just like you. Now go.
And also, you do realize you're in Barovia, right?
Oh, yeah.
True.
So Stetchen, drags this big trunk of his out and then, half drops it to the floor and then undoes the chains and locks and opens it up, and it's just, it's packed like something out of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's just manacles and stakes and holy water and all the accoutrement of a monster hunter. And then he starts pulling candles and he starts setting up.
All right. After dinner, the Burgermaster stepped away for a bit to, kind of compose himself. And he will re-enter the room and say, "Are we ready?"
If everyone would be seated, yes.
Are you sure you want us involved? I know we are strangers to you.
If it will be safer, I am willing to accept this.
So
I understand that speaking with the spirits can be a dangerous matter.
if you will sit across from me, and then everyone betwixt us, we will hold hands and begin.
Silme's going to lean over to Kefris. Are you comfortable with this? You could sit out. No one's going to shame you for that.
It does not have anything to do with your god.
That's the problem.
Stetchen is a good man, and I believe him, and I trust his abilities to be able to accomplish this thing.
I would like to insight check my brother.
Okay.
That's a 14.
Eat shit and die. He's telling the truth.
Right, okay. Well, hey. Okay, how nice of him to just believe this guy right off the bat and, not castrate him. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, because Stetchen looked at me in the eyes. We had a heart-to-heart. We've been through some shit.
Haunted one,
We shared baths, Kefris. We shared baths.
Yeah, but not when you were doing magic.
You didn't keep it a secret for 14 years?
Hey. Not
We
that
both
long.
acknowledged the baths were happening. We were children.
Bartholomew, you notice that Maybell is wearing a ring that she wasn't before.
Quirks an eyebrow, looks up at Maybell with the quirked eyebrow.
She just kind of smiles at you. God.
Maybell, not the time. Not the time.
Sorry.
And
Behaves herself.
Stetchen begins speaking in several languages as as he goes along, and it doesn't seem to be following any particular rhyme or reason. He's just sort of babbling and talking in different, tones and whatnot. And I guess at one point before they grab hands, he'll roll up his sleeves, and it's basically from his cuff as far as you can see. It's just tattoos. It just different any religious symbols, iconography, all kinds of just weird mishmash of symbology, symbolism, and then
as you're doing this, Arabelle is running around and lighting candles, and she starts burning some sage.
Okay, little one, if things go wrong, you flee, and then
I know the drill. Trust me.
And he'll lean back, and then, not you, no, we are looking for the little boy. Stop it, go away. And then his spirits kind of back off a bit, and then he tries to reach out for the little boy.
That's right. There is this is unusual for you. There's a brief moment of calm as all of the spirits finally just kind of go quiet. And all of you notice this. The lights of the candles begin to dim. And as everyone takes hands and really buckles down, gets ready for this, the last light from the outside has begun to dim in the windows as well, when all of a sudden you hear at the door.
Oh, crap.
And the burgomaster just kind of turns his head sharply, and he's all like, I'm not expecting visitors. And he stand up and kind of look inquisitively at the rest of you.
Would you like one of us to get it? That's probably a good idea.
I'll go.
This isn't good.
And Stetched is reaching under his coat with both hands.
Kefris is tightening his cords, and he just says, "You broke the circle."
It's not like we were sitting at the table of 13. And Bartholomew has his hand on his silver dagger as he goes to the door and slowly opens it.
All right. Standing behind the door is a man in a brown monk's robe. And you can only see the lower half of his face, and he is absolutely gorgeous. You have never seen a more beautiful face. It's clean shaven, and you really can't determine how old he is. There is a wooden holy symbol pendant around his neck that is painted with this really old looking icon of a sun. And he's just standing there waiting.
Do I recognize the symbol from the symbol one of our friendos has?
Actually, a lot like that. What do you know? Ha! Always count on Greybeard to have the right prop. Damn. I'm sorry, what was your question, Justice?
Do I recognize the symbol as one of our friendos has? Yeah.
In he does. You mean Stetched?
No. The
Ravenkind one, I'm assuming.
Ravenkind. No. The holy symbol of Ravenkind is it's got a huge gem in the middle. It's made out of platinum, I believe. Okay. It too looks like a sun, but it's a lot more ornate, I want to say. This is very simple and humble.
Can I help you, sir?
No, but I can help you.
Grip tightens on his dagger from behind the door. Who, may I ask, who are you?
Please, sir, I mean no harm. I am a pacifist. I couldn't harm you if I tried. I am here because the spirits of light wish for the Krezk line to continue.
What?
He kind of like looks over your shoulder at the burgomaster, who's just kind of standing with his brow furrowed, just like not quite comprehending. And he kind of mutters under his breath, "The abbot?" And the man in the hood just kind of smiles and he says, "I'm here to bring your son back to life."
Hold on the moment. And Stetchen will reach out and check for Fey Fiend or Undead.
This
Same.
is a Bloodmaster thing, or Blood Hunter thing, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I don't think
You only get Fey Fiend or Undead?
Celestial.
You get very, very strong Celestial from this man. And that is where we're going to go on our break. And when I say our break, I mean for the week. We're going to leave off on that. It's the end. Good night, everybody.
I was like, what break?
How long?
Our second break!
We finally took one.
I vow our second break. All right, well.
The fabled second break!
Yes.
Ah!
The
Finally
second break.
Oh, yeah. That's what happens when we end the game. It's just the second break.
Yeah, just secondsies. So I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop by and join us this week. Greybeard, thank you so much for joining us. We were unaware as to whether or not you would be playing with us till today. Most of us until like 5:15 or so my time. So thank you for stopping by and being a surprising guest.
Me too. I didn't know till late this afternoon.
And that's totally on me, you guys. I went back and forth like all week. And I was all like, I totally understand if you can't.
Well, speaking of things that you do back and forth all week, Danae, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, everybody. My name is Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D and a lot of stuff on this channel. You can also find me here on this channel on Mondays playing Coriander the Eldrin Paladin, or on Tuesdays running this very game called Curse of Strahd. DanaeKeener.com.
Yes. And RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ here on the channel, but you can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life. You can catch me on Monday during the Homebrew campaign as Caleb the Shadowkai Cleric, and of course here as Bartholomew, the Ranger. Wow, why Human Ranger? It's always so hard because I want to say Warlock, but I'm not for some reason. Also, hey, on Saturdays, Sundays, sorry, at 8:30, you can catch myself and LB over at Pro Restarters channel, where we play Phase. I play G3, a robo with a plan. You okay there, LB?
Do you have a plan? I was doing phase.
Oh, yeah. Phase. And hey, remember, kids, on the 27th, we'll be running a campaign.
Charity stream.
Charity stream
You
for a
want me
good
to do it?
cause. Do it. You can do it anytime. I'm going here now. Bye-bye.
All right. Greybeard, where can we find you? What do you do?
I'm Greybeard of Greybeard's Tavern, and you can find me at Twitter, Greybeard Tavern. Is there the S there? I can never remember. You'll find it, and that's where I have my schedule. A few of my projects are in flux right now, like my Stars Without Number game, which was supposed to start tomorrow, is done. It's already over, but a new project is coming up from Pro Restarter at that same time slot, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays, and that'll be announced as soon as he decides to announce it. And then this Friday we'll be playing one of our last episodes, if not the last episode, of Blood Debt for this season. And you can find that over at Jackal and Hare's channel on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, Dungeon Darkest Dungeon with me on Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. to noon. And then after that, Apocalypse World, where last week I broke out my Roadhog type gas mask, and all night I've been putting my hat on it. So Roadhog has a dandy hat. So you can find us there. Me and LB are in that game, along with Greek Sid and bonus stage Rob, and Savvy Seaworth for Apocalypse World. And that's other than the charity event, which LB is going to do. That's it for me.
All right, LB, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, you can find me here Mondays and Tuesdays on the Indoor Adventures channel. On Wednesdays, you can find me on Damn It Bears channel doing Ghosts of Salt Marsh. And then Sundays, you can find me on Encounter Roleplays channel at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time doing the Apocalypse system. We have 2 more episodes left, so we're like figuring out time travel and shit. And then at 8 p.m., we're doing Pro Starters channel, the Cypher system. I play Ophi, who is a mad character who I've learned recently never actually says anyone's name. Like, she just refers to them as something else. So, and also we're doing the charity stream on the 27th, which is to promote mental health. There's 4 different games, correct?
Yes.
I'm running a Kids on Bikes game at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know if I can announce what I'm doing, but it's Kids on Bikes, and it's gonna be spoopy, and I really want to like traumatize people, so that's mine.
All right, and
MakeIt.com.
And if you have made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you do not, hello, fella, it's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at Indoor Adventures, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We have shows all throughout the week. We got a homebrew game that's Mondays, Curse of Strahd, which is today. We have Ghosts of Saltmarsh, which is Thursdays, and then Saturdays are just a community day. We also have all of our stuff up on wherever you can find audio casts, or if you are more of a visual watcher, you can check out youtube.com/Indoor Adventures and check us out there. Other places that you can go and possibly help support the show is on Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/Indoor Adventures, then you can stick around for our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community, but also from each other, which is going to be super fun. Other things that are going to be super fun, like everyone else has said already, the charity event on the 27th, where you can win some awesome prizes. For example, we have from Elderwood Academy 3 miniature dice chests that are eligible for giveaways to donors or just people hanging out in chat. We're going to figure more about that as we go on, but look forward to those possibly ending up in your hands. And that is it for our show. Thank you again to Danae for running this incredibly spoopy game. Thank you to all of these players for coming by, and we will see you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!